the New York Harlem school of thought. But I grew up from that school of thought for a long time. Like,
The
you know,
Dipset.
when Cameron first came out, you remember the anyone and you see me with it, BB Kid it, we be sending it like anything to make it
It's right
rhyme.
because outside of Souls of Mischief, I used to, and of course, you just mentioned Lord Finesse. What was that group called? Digging in the Crates.
Even the craze.
Outside of them, I would hear that from. It was pretty much Perfecto. I would hear that from.
Yeah.
Boy Perfecto talking about compounds, and he was a big Eminem fan back then too. And
And and
Nas would
respect.
do it, but not that way. You wouldn't catch him doing it so much that it almost pissed you off, or that it was
Yeah.
overly intentional. But because he would definitely sacrifice it for his content, and
Yes.
so he wouldn't force every syllable to always be perfectly lined up. He would put an extra syllable in there if the word sounded natural, which I thought was dope.
And that used to be something I used to talk to you about Perfecto style because I'm like Perfecto was one of those who would let the rhyme scheme kind of he would get lost in the rhyme scheme sometimes. I'm like, all right, Perfecto, you've let that rhyme compound sequence go on too long. Like psycho, like no, I know, typo, like
Yeah,
like all right,
but it's intentional, right? So it's like doing
yeah,
it for the pound. Like we used to say that we do it for the pound. Like
yeah. I feel like it's a little self indulgent, and he grew out of that eventually, and did some other stuff. But at the time, it's like, damn, I like this for myself, so I'm just gonna, So
yeah, it's all
uh,
about yeah.
that's the great
Hold
part about youth, because I
on.
think we all used to do that. Like some of my favorite rhymes of yours are from that era where you were fucking like what junior year, like in like then Jack to Wendy's for a Sprite soda. Like how many rhyming lines can I make that make sense in this sequence? And you did
Yeah,
it. Like
we were making complete songs purposely. You know what I mean?
exactly,
That brother
exactly.
I still talk to now, Friction. I don't know how well you know him. He does that. He used to do that as well. And yeah, man.
Yep.
So let's do this. Colors. You know what I mean? Let's do this. And it's like a lot of people were like, "Yeah, we ain't. That's stupid." We're like, "Why are we doing that?" And or why? I don't want to say stupid because it's like there's game people doing it for reasons, but the level-headed person who was able to get away from like why are we influencing ourselves, why are we bragging about this behavior, and a rap group talking about it in a way that's like not forcing you down that road or
Yeah.
not overly bragging about how tough they are in that way, because even there was a big push on even the East Coast, and here I go, maybe rant time, but my favorite rapper at the time, Nas, even coming out with his album, it was a criminal album for the most part. There was a lot of crime activity going on. It was about a lot of thug stuff going on, and him relating and being like, "Yeah, I'm that nigga who pissed on the elevator, who I shot in the crowd. I ain't see. I had to do this." And it's a lot of that represent. We robbing you guys coming from out of town, or even
Yeah.
it's a lot of crime on that album. It's
Yeah. People overlook that
the
stuff.
conscious rappers were still talking some crime stuff because they were like, "Yeah, I'm in this too." But
Yeah.
there's also, and it was deeper than that, and it gave like introspection, and there was a lot of that going on. Mob Deep, Onyx, all these groups coming out. It was a lot of death. It was Biggie's. It was a lot of Jay-Z. It was a lot of. It wasn't gangster rap because it wasn't West Coast, but on the East Coast that was coming out.
Yeah. Street rap. Street
Yes,
level.
street
Yeah.
rap.
There's street rap and street level, and I think uh,
It sounds like it's over the top, but maybe that will make you want to do something. It's almost like when you watch. I was talking about violence in film. I hope I don't go too far off this. Stop me if I go too far, but it's almost when I think about action movies, right? A lot of times we need the hero to have a reason to kill the bad guy, but what we're really just watching the people killing people, no matter how which way we want to play it, right? We watch John Wick. Oh, he had a hard. They messed with his dog in his car, so now he's gonna kill like 20 Russian dudes over here. It's like, damn, that's 20 people's family members who just got killed. Oh, but they was messing with his dog, and they were gonna kill him, and they're not good people. They're bad guys.
right.
And it's like, okay, but it's just a story that has that in it, right? So
Yeah.
it feels kind of a similar way. Somebody shot the homie's mom at the mall, and him. And we gotta get this payback. Well, it's cool.
Yeah.
I know where they at. We gonna set them up. And
Right.
it's like it's a kind of a gang tale, but it's like it's low key. there is a very realistic statement being made in that song, because that does happen out here. That type of crime and that type of retaliation happens every day out here, especially where I'm in DC area right now. Every day something's going on like that. A bunch of teenagers just got shot up recently. Like it's like a larger group recently. I just heard about a story, and I know that some of it was based on retaliation, and it's like this stuff happens. And
that's a great point.
I know it happens almost like every day. Like, I know it does. I can peep it.
That's a great point. I mean, there's a degree, the setup. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of cleverness in the setup, because the setup alone lets you know, all right, some of this is gonna be fiction. Like, I'm writing a story about my mom getting shot. There's a fictional big element to that, to not take it too seriously. But the overall scenario of retaliation, like you said, it plays out every day in the hoods. Yeah.
And it's a concept, because it's really a Mission Impossible, street Mission Impossible song. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
You hear the music in the background, doom, 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 the spy movie type music, and it's basically some sort of like, covert mission, operative song.
Right.
It's not going to be like Tom Cruise. This is going to be Souls of Mischief, giving you it from an East Oakland perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's like, yo, Festo, Opio, and Plus go through the southern window, catch him around the back. Yeah, Flip Mode Squad on their album has a song like that, which went horribly wrong, because it's like them about killing a woman and burying her. I was like, y'all could have wrote about something better. It didn't take 7 of y'all to write this rap, but this is back before we held rap accountable, and that's part of why I'm doing this too, to be like, to have these come on bruh moments, even if it's your favorite rapper. Sometimes it's about having come on bruh moments. Like, I was just talking about how Ghostface Wildflower, I used to bump that song, I used to love that song. I'm like, yo, this song, he really talked about beating a woman up. Like, it's just like, so
story, right?
I always bring up the Jadakiss versus Drake thing. Like, Drake is a rapper that gives you all of his feelings and emotion, gives you no statements on anything outside of himself. It's a very selfish rap approach. Jadakiss, they said historically his career has suffered because he gives you none of him. Everything he raps is observational. Yeah, you live in the streets, but you don't know how he grew up. You don't know. He just had started doing that in some albums, but they say that affected his career because you don't feel connected to Jada. You admire Jada, but you don't feel Jada. Jay-Z comes out the gate giving you both. He gives you commentary, like the evils on how the game is, but he gives you like his regrets and his laments and his, I should have done this better and I feel stupid doing this. That's what is the mark of a good artist and a good rapper and a good rap album. So
yeah, said that because Jadakiss' first album, my favorite song on that, nobody is the same favorite song as
Still Feel Me?
My joint is when he sampled "Keep Your Head to the Sky" and just rap positive. That's my favorite joint he did, because that's the only one that made me feel like he's giving me a real opinion right now.
Yes, like I know why it was supposed to be his deep song, but it sounded kind of manufactured, like. So I feel you on that.